see a purple.
I think this is the basketball.
Good morning. Happy Pride, UU Wellesley Hills. Yay. So welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society of Wellesley Hills. I am the Reverend Mark Roble, your minister, and as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, I am honored and thrilled to be here this Pride Sunday morning. Welcome to all who need a church home, and for all who call this church home already. Welcome to people from all towns and cities and states and countries. Welcome to all people of all ages, races, nationalities, abilities, sexualities, and gender expressions. Welcome to single and partnered and married people. Welcome to everyone. Here, our creed is love, and our religious practice is love. We welcome you to come as you are and to be challenged to be more than you think you can be. And we welcome you if you are not perfect, because neither are we. How good it is to be together this morning. Some of you are here in the sanctuary, others are watching the live stream of this service online. Our multi-platform worship makes space for everyone. Whoever you are, wherever you find yourself on your personal spiritual journey, however you name or know the eternal presence, we're glad to have you with us this morning as we celebrate all of us having the pride to be just who we are. And a special, special welcome. Baby Ava Louise Ferring was welcomed into the world on Thursday, June 9th, weighing 7 pounds, 10 ounces, and 20 inches long. Moms and Ava are doing well and are at home. Welcome to the family, Ava. Yay!
Good morning. I am Kyle Murray, and I am visiting from All Souls Unitarian Universalist Congregation in New London, Connecticut, and it is a privilege to worship with you this morning. For those in the sanctuary today, know that we are continuing to maintain safety protocols put in place since the beginning of the church year. These include, among other things, remaining masked for the duration of our time here. And as a reminder, you can find Mass in the vestibule every Sunday in case you forgot yours. Remote participants can find the order of service attached to this Sunday announcement in our church calendar. In-person participants can find a printed copy in the vestibule. You will note there are announcements printed on page 2 there. For fellowship hour after the service, everyone here is welcome to attend Parish Hall for a brief time to get coffee and refreshments. Online participants may log into our church Zoom room during this time. The link to Zoom Fellowship can be found on the online church calendar. Following the brief fellowship time, in-person participants who are church members will be asked to return to the sanctuary for our annual congregational meeting to begin at 11:45 in order to participate in the business of the church. There will be voting on new lay leaders, budget plans, adoption of an Indigenous Peoples land acknowledgement, and recognizing our outgoing leaders. Please join us in the sanctuary and online via Zoom for the meeting. We request that no food or beverages be brought into the sanctuary in order to ensure that we may remain masked during the service. Non-members are welcome to visit as observers, for many stay in Parish Hall for continued fellowship. Each Sunday, we take a few moments to recognize some of our many volunteers. This week, we thank the Board of Trustees. It is no small task to do the business of a church on a volunteer basis. It often feels like a full-time job. These 7 individuals have done a phenomenal job keeping everything going through the many challenges that faced us all this year. We are grateful every week, but especially today when it is our annual meeting. Thank you for the board for all that you do. Next Sunday will be the final Sunday of the formal church year, although there will be lay-led Zoom services throughout the summer. We will be celebrating Flower Communion next Sunday, so we ask that if you're planning on attending in person next week, please bring some flowers from your garden to share with others. And we are planning a festive cookout after the service in the courtyard. More details to come. Now we invite people to greet each other this morning. Those in the sanctuary are asked to do so in a way that is mindful of each person's comfort. Those of you watching the live stream on the UU Wellesley Hills Facebook page, take this time to type a greeting to one another in the chat. Any first-time visitors online or on site, please don't be shy to say hi. We are very happy that you are with us today.
And now, as we deepen into worship, we speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you. Every part of you is beautiful just the way you are. Here, you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding. No exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me or the person sitting next to you or to the children or to anyone. You don't have to try to be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful. Every part of you beautiful just the way you are. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcomed here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful just the way they are. You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you different from each and beautiful in your own beautiful way. Breathtaking. Let us worship together. The flaming chalice is a shining symbol of our Unitarian Universalist commitment to religious pluralism and humanitarian principles. We light it on our altar each Sunday. If you're watching from home and you have a chalice on hand, you may want to light yours now. The words for our chalice lighting are spoken in unison, and you'll find the words printed in your order of service or appearing on your screen. Please join me in saying them as Kyle lights our chalice today. There's a lighter there, Kyle? No? Hold on. I took him by surprise. Now our words in unison. We light this chalice to illuminate our faithful way forward as an inspirational community of hope. Together we seek spiritual growth, we strive for just and responsible action, we dedicate ourselves to leading lives of compassion and purpose. Knowing how we have been blessed, we choose to bless the world. Now please rise in body or spirit as you are able and join in singing our opening hymn, Break Not the Circle, number 323 in the gray hymnal.
Good morning. A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo by Marlon Bundo and Jill Tweese, illustrated by E.G. Keller. Hello, my name is Marlon Bundo, and I'm a bunny. I live with my mom, grandpa, and grandma in an old, stuffy house on the grounds of the U.S. Naval Observatory. That's because my grandpa is the vice president. His name is Mike Pence. But this story isn't going to be about him because he isn't very fun. This story is about me because I'm very, very fun. This is the story of a very special day. My very special day started like every other day. I woke up all alone. Then I ate a fine bunny breakfast all alone, while I watched the news all alone. You see, sometimes old stuffy houses are also lonely. After breakfast, I hopped to the garden to look at the flowers and say, "Hello down there," to the bugs. "Hello, Phil. Hello, Dennis." This is when I saw him. He was a big, fluffy bunny with the floppiest floppy ears and the bushiest bushy tail. He was Bunny Beautiful. I was standing still, but being near him made me feel like my heart was still hopping. "My name is Marlon," I said, "but my family calls me Botus. It's short for Bunny of the United States." It's a long, long story. "My name is Wesley, and my family calls me Wesley," said Wesley. Wesley and I hopped together all around the garden. We hopped over daisies. We hopped over tiny carrots that weren't ready to grow up and be lunches yet. We hopped over Phil and Dennis. Once we hopped through every part of the garden, we didn't want to stop hopping, so we hopped right inside the old stuffy house. We hopped up and down the creaky stairs and made beautiful creaky stair-making, music-making together. We hopped through the kitchen and maybe left a few bunny prints. We hopped through very boring meetings with very boring people. It was a very good hop. It was the best hop, and I realized something when I hopped with Wesley. My old stuffy house didn't feel lonely anymore. At the end of our hop, I said, "Wesley, I don't want to hop without you ever again." And Wesley said, "That's funny, because I never want to hop without you, Marlon Bundo, ever again." And we both said, "We will get married and hop together." "Hello, everyone," we said to all the animals in the garden. "Hello, hello." "Hooray," said Phil and Dennis, the bugs, and Pumpernickel, who is a badger, and Scooter, who is a turtle, and Dill Prickle, who is a hedgehog, and Mr. Paws, who's a very good dog. "Hooray," said all our friends, because that's what friends are for. "Wait," said a scary voice. "You can't get married." We looked around and saw the scary voice was coming from the stink bug. Let me tell you a little bit about the stink bug. The stink bug was in charge. He was important. None of the other animals could quite work out who he was in charge of or how he was important, but he was. And that meant he made the rules. That meant all the animals listened to him, even though he was, and is very true, very stinky. Boy bunnies don't marry boy bunnies, said the stink bug. Boy bunnies have to marry girl bunnies. But this is the bunny I love, said Wesley. And this is the bunny I love, said me, Marlon Bundo. Too bad, said the stink bug. I am the stinkiest, and I am the most important. I am the stinkiest, and I am in charge. Boy bunnies marry girl bunnies. Girl bunnies marry boy bunnies. This is the way it's always been. You're different, and different is bad. The other animals whispered nervously among themselves. Pumpernickel, who is a badger, came forward. I'm different too, he said. I eat my sandwich crust first. I'm different too, said Mr. Paws, who is a very good dog. Sometimes I sniff butts, and I don't know why. Everyone is different, and different is not bad, said Scooter, who is a turtle. Different is special. And on this special day, all they wanted to have in charge, they chose, not the stink bug. Hooray, said Marlon Bundo. Hooray, all of our friends, because this is what friends say. No, boomed the stink bug. Boy bunnies can't marry boy bunnies. You are not in charge anymore. So Wesley and I got married. We had 2 handsome grooms otters named Muffins and Cubby, and a flower mouse named Hiccup. We ate and drank and danced the hokey pokey. And the ceremony was performed by a cat named Pajama, who brought her wife as a date. After we had ate and drank and danced, we went home together. We have to get some sleep, Marlon. Tomorrow we leave on our bunny moon. Because it doesn't matter if you love a girl bunny or a boy bunny, or eat your sandwich backwards or forwards. Stink bugs are temporary. Love is forever.
Hello. I'm Whitney Ortelic. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the executive director of Out Metro West. Thank you so much for having me here today. Happy Pride Month. And yes, love is forever. Stink bugs are not, thankfully. So Out Metro West and UU Wellesley Hills have a long, meaningful connection, as you may know. It is UU Wellesley Hills members who started Out Metro West 11 years, of course, and it is here where we held our first youth meetings when Out Metro West was known as WAGLY. To this day, we have board members, volunteers, and supporters, many who are here in this room today, and many who may be participating online from UU Wellesley Hills, and we are so, so grateful for all of the years of connection, community, and support. Connection, community, and support. These things are so important. UUs get this. And for LGBTQ plus youth, they are not just important, but they are life-changing and sometimes absolutely life-saving. Both locally and nationally, LGBTQ plus youth are at significantly higher risk for mental and behavioral risks than their non-LGBTQ plus peers. And it's no wonder, with book bans, legislation, other religious dogma, and hateful rhetoric spewed by mainstream personalities, all aimed at making LGBTQ plus youth feel unsafe and undeserving of love. But youth who are connected to a supportive community like Out Metro West show a decrease in those risk factors. And indeed, when we survey Out Metro West youth, they show lower rates of anxiety, depression, self-harm, and substance use than LGBTQ+ youth on average. When youth feel connected, supported, and in community, they do better. Out Metro West serves over 300 youth annually from elementary through high school, with nearly 20 programs each month. And your continued support for Out Metro West helps us keep growing to meet the needs of LGBTQ+ youth across this region. 11 years ago, this community said yes to the need that existed for a supportive space for LGBTQ+ youth. And we are so appreciative of all the ways you are still saying yes to help Out Metro West build communities where LGBTQ+ youth thrive. Your donation can either be made electronically or in person. If you want to make an online payment, visit the online giving page on our UU Wellesley Hills website. Once there, be sure to select plate collection from the drop-down menu. You may also drop off your checks or cash in the collection box in the back of our sanctuary, either immediately after the service or now, one by one. Remember to put Out Metro West on the memo line of any check you write. For all you have given and all the ways you are standing on the side of love, Out Metro West thanks you.
Let us unite our hearts and minds in prayer with these words from Amy Johnson. Spirit of life, loving Creator, beyond our understanding, yet closer than our breath, breathe into us divine love so that we may love ourselves and others. Help heal the fear, the hate, the judgment that wounds so many. Help us know deeply and certainly that love transcends all labels, all categories, and all words. Your love is. Your love rains down on us all. Everyone is invited to love's table. We each bring our whole and broken parts and come together in love, which binds us and heals us. May it be so. With these words now on our minds and in our hearts, let us open ourselves to the place of quiet, to the silent prayer for the healing of pain and the soft, gentle coming of love. Ours is a spiritual community where we find and forge connections. We trust in the strength of mutual support, knowing how it has sustained us day after day and year after year. We share our joy and gratitude with one another. We remember those who are suffering and struggling, and we heed the call to build beloved community in our wider world. Today we hold in the light all those whose hearts are lonely or broken, those needing the support of community, those tired and scared. We hold in the light all those facing difficult decisions or facing life-changing events. And again, we especially hold up the people of Ukraine, their families, and their friends. We hold all those affected by gun violence, and we lift up our own ability to be resilient, to care, and to love. We lift up our ability to refresh and renew yet again. And we lift up our ability to be our true, authentic selves. We remember today the family of Nancy Ernie, Laura Pate, Sydney and Giselle Lehman, Carmela and Santos, Miriam Wiley, and we continue to hold in our heart Bob Farrell. Those here in the sanctuary, as you feel moved, please rise in your seat and simply state the name of those persons or places you are holding in your heart, either as a source of concern or cause for celebration, and I will light our central candle of joys and sorrow in honor of them all. Doug will bring the microphone around. Those online can type the names into the chat box on our UU Wellesley Hills Facebook page, and they will be read aloud next week. Are there more names today?
The surviving friends and family of Charlie Winchester.
These names have been heard and honored in this community. Alongside these, we know are certain joys and sorrow that remain private and unspoken this hour. Those too have a rightful place here. We begin this morning by honoring the light. We light this candle for our families, our beloveds, our friends, all our relations, for those who are near and for those from whom we feel an unwanted distance, for the newborn, for the elderly, and for all the wounded children. May this candle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse. May its radiance pour out upon our hearts and spread light into the darkest corners of our world. Now please join our choir members in our meditation on breathing, which we will sing through 3 times.
Echo of a Voice was written by UCC minister, the Reverend Krista Swenson. In an introduction to the poem, Reverend Swenson sets the stage for her very powerful words. She writes, "Beatitude comes from the Latin beatus, meaning happy and blessed. In the Christian tradition, the Beatitudes are a set of proclamations that Jesus makes in his Sermon on the Mount, a collection of sayings emphasizing his moral teachings, in which he is interpreting the old law and offering a new law. Many of the Beatitudes are probably familiar to you, such as, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God." The Beatitudes proclaim a world that would be, could be, ought to be if we truly lived in the way of love and of justice. The truth is that they are not just blessings, but words of protest, a call to action. And now, Reverend Swenson's poem, which she describes as an echo of that voice that has been bouncing from one mountain to another from time before history, Echo of a Voice. And I have to tell you, I just realized I left my 3rd page back at my seat. Hold on. As Mark says, we are not perfect and we are all welcomed. Echo of a Voice. Blessed are you who awoke this morning at last to sunlight, kissing earth on its way through a vast darkness. Blessed are you whose hearts are brave enough to go on, brave enough for the proclaiming, the naming, and the out loud loving. And blessed also are you whose hearts are spacious enough for all the love still unclaimed. Blessed are you whose hope is larger than your front porch, whose prayers are larger than your need. Blessed are you whose courage and tenacity swing the pendulum in the direction of freedom, freedom from closets, freedom from conformity. Blessed are you who we name family, established by blood sometimes, but also by love, respect, courage, shared bread, and common impatience for justice. The threads that knit us together, a community bound by a gracious tether, oh, blessed be that tie. Blessed are you upon whom the universe does not squander moon and sunlight. Blessed are you whose hands know how to reach out in order to receive with grace and with gratitude. Blessed are you, that is, who are learning the song of your life by singing it as you go. It is a holy song. Sing loud, sing proud, blessed kindred.
Thank you, choir. That song gets me every single time I hear it. So you'll notice in the order of service, the title of my sermon is The Courage to Change, which is a sermon that I gave probably 3 months ago, and I have no idea how it made it into this week's order. The real title of my sermon today was The Pride to Just Be Me. And what happens so often with a lot of ministers when we're writing sermons, you start out here and you have some good ideas. However, you end up over here. So the courage to change is actually quite appropriate in the order of service today. So my reflection was going to be a completely different direction until I read Reverend Krista's Echo of a Voice, which literally took my breath away. One of my most favorite readings from the Christian scriptures is the Sermon on the Mount in the Gospel of Matthew, especially the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are the meek, blessed are the peacekeepers. These blessings always struck me as a decent and authentic way to walk through life. Sort of like reminders, regardless of what you believe, regardless of what your theology is. Reverend Krista's Beatitude strikes at the heart of what it means to live in today's world, and especially if you identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community. Blessed are you who awoke this morning, at last, to sunlight kissing the earth on its way through a vast darkness. I would venture to say today that some of us have walked through vast darkness in order to wake. I grew to adulthood at a time shortly after the Stonewall riots, when being a homosexual was not only illegal, but still listed medically as a mental illness. A time when states had sodomy laws on the books, and it was not unusual for police to raid bars and homes and other gathering spaces for gay people, arrest them, splash their names and pictures and often their addresses across the front pages of the local newspapers. Many, many lives were ruined and countless lives to suicide. Then the darkness of the AIDS crisis, the stigma, the shame, the gay cancer, so much physical and emotional pain, and so much death. Entire gay communities and neighborhoods decimated by this disease. Now fast forward to today, the assault on trans rights, violence against the trans community, this never-ending pandemic, at a time that is critical for us and all in the LGBTQ community to be together, it has sometimes been increasingly difficult. Yet, blessed are you whose hearts are brave enough to go on, brave enough for the proclaiming, the naming, the out loud loving. Blessed are you whose courage and tenacity swung the pendulum in the direction of freedom, freedom from closets and conformity. I'm reminded here of a group of older adults in the Bronx where I did an internship when I was at Union Theological Seminary in New York. I volunteered for an organization called SAGE, S-A-G-E, Support and Advocacy for the LGBTQ Elders. These folks, mostly women, were on the front lines, marching, protesting, fighting for equality, oftentimes putting their own safety in jeopardy during the 50s and 60s. I'm thinking of my own first gay pride march in the early 80s, marching down Boylston Street in Boston, holding the hand of my then and first boyfriend. That incredible feeling of power, the freedom to just be. I'm reminded of scores of people, again, often women, who came out, organized, and supported patients and families during the AIDS epidemic. making meals, driving to doctor's appointments, sitting at the bedside, holding the hand of someone dying. I'm thinking of my own 25-year-old son, who is an out and proud gay young man and has been out since high school. And it's with his permission that I talk about him today. The world is truly, truly a different place today than when I was growing up, and thank goodness it is. My son has no qualms about being gay and being out. He never hid it, never needed to be someone he wasn't. That's not to say that he didn't have his own challenges, because he did. But he knew who he was from a very young age, and that was that. When he was growing up, I so admired his uniqueness and his ability to be just himself. And too bad if you didn't like it. It's because of people like him, people like you, who challenge the norms, push forward, and demand justice and equality. It's because of people like you that love finally won. That 2 men or 2 women are now allowed to marry, have families, share job benefits. Blessed are you to the world, indeed. One last final thought about where we are today as the LGBTQ plus community. It really saddens me, and at the same time infuriates me, that some of our churches and religious institutions continue to discriminate, and worse, use sacred scripture to justify hate, inequality, and evilness. I know that so many of us have deep wounds around the rejection we experience, perhaps as young people, in our religious institutions. There's a Netflix movie that came out probably about a year ago, and it's called Pray Away. I have not seen, but I've watched the trailer. And I must tell you, I do have some hesitancy about watching it, but I'm sure I will. But even watching the trailer gave me that sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, bringing me to a time when perhaps I felt not worthy. But alas, blessed are you, family, established by blood, but also by love, respect, courage, shared bread, and a common impatience for justice. The threads that knit us together, a community bound by a gracious tether. For me, it's at that altar, the altar of community, that I worship. The community that loves and respects, that shares bread with each other. That is where I find my whole true self and the spirit of life and love. So wherever or whatever you consider community, allow it to support and love you. Allow it to let you experience the secrets of the universe through your own lens. Allow your blood or chosen family to nourish you and fill you up. So my walk down memory lane today is a fun exercise for me, but it also is to show all of us how far we've come as a community, yet how long the road really is. The challenges and struggles continue, and there is still much work to be done. Yet I do believe that the power of love continues to pick us up, to support us, and thrust us forward. The power of love continues to bless us, making us whole within the universe. Blessed are you upon whom the universe does not squander moon and starlight. Remember, we are loved by the universe. We are respected and held up by the universe. We are whole and completely made. We are a blessing to the world, regardless of our flaws, our foibles, and imperfections. Hold tight to that blessing, dear ones. Amen, and may it be so. Now please rise in body or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, Lean on Me, number 1021 in your teal hymnal. There we go. Now that our celebration is concluding this morning, we extinguish our chalice. Our closing words are spoken in unison, and you'll find them printed in your order of service or appearing on your screen. Extinguishing this flame which has burned bright in our midst, we revere what has been kindled within each one of us: warmth in community, the light of truth, a perpetual spark of hope. Knowing abundant blessing, we choose to bless the world. May the drag stage rise to meet you. May the world rise to accept and embrace you. May the rainbow of love enfold you. May your fluidity never be hindered. May your pronouns always be supported. May those you invite into your life remain loyal. May your chosen family lift you up and catch you when you need it. May you be able to catch others when they need it. May you remember sensitivity is not weakness, but instead a great strength welling up inside you. And until we meet again, may you remember that you are loved and you are divine. Our service is ended. Go in peace and return again with great joy.